Hello and welcome to this 24Files demo video in which I will show you the 24Files end user experience. I'll show you how to set it up in the 24Files Manager app. We'll also have a look at how to integrate 24Files into an Experience Cloud portal and also tell you a little bit about how to extend 24Files with Apex and flows. So let's get started by creating a new opportunity. 24Files can work in conjunction with any Salesforce or custom object, and we're just using the opportunity object here as an example. So I fill out the mandatory fields, hit save, and our record page is being loaded. And what we see is that the 24Files component is being loaded onto the canvas and a number of folders appear here. So when I hit the SharePoint icon here, I open up SharePoint in a separate tab, and actually what we see that on our 24Files demo SharePoint site, 24Files has generated a number of folders and subfolders, including the name of our opportunity here, as well as a number of folders. Later on in the video, I'll show you how to create this folder structure, but let's first head back to Salesforce. And I'll show you how to sync files between Salesforce and SharePoint. So what we'll do next, I'll just drag and drop here a spreadsheet onto the 24Files canvas. You see the spreadsheet is being uploaded here, and when I head back to SharePoint environment, we see the spreadsheet appearing there as well. So 24Files, it's a 100% native Salesforce application that provides a direct integration between your Salesforce environment and your SharePoint environment. There is no magic 24Files server in the web. It's a direct integration, and 24Files never gets to see your files. The integration also works the other way around. So for example, if we have our JPEG here with a damaged package that we drag and drop within our SharePoint environments, when we head back to our Salesforce environment and refresh, we'll see that the damaged package is also appearing here in the 24Files component. So we see here at the top a number of menu options. So I can open up SharePoint this way. I can create new folders. Reset tracking is if you want to reconfigure your folder structure along the way, but probably beyond the purpose of this call. And you also see here a logout. So the first time when I used 24Files, I was redirected to SharePoint. I had to log in there with my SharePoint account. And from that moment onwards, whatever I did in the 24Files components got logged with the 24Files users that I logged in with in SharePoint. So you have full traceability with this, what we call authenticated access mode. 24Files also provides a number of features on the file level. So the first two here, preview and edit, are SharePoint features. For example, if I click on edit, I open up the spreadsheet in edit mode in SharePoint, and I can immediately start editing the spreadsheet. So I don't need to navigate first to my SharePoint environment. I can do all of that straight from the Salesforce environment. I also have rename, delete, move, downloads, and copy public link option. Copy public link is also a SharePoint feature where you can share a link with third parties that don't have access to your SharePoint, through which they can download the file. Now, for specific files, Salesforce has a preview feature. So, for example, for this JPEG, I have a quick preview and can immediately see the file here as well. I forgot to mention that obviously you can also navigate into subfolders, and you have a breadcrumb here to navigate back to your record folder. So that's the elementary functionality of 24Files. Next thing I'm going to show you is how we integrate with Salesforce storage. And for that, I have notes and attachments here. And I'm going to upload a file here in notes and attachments. You see the file appearing here, but now actually when I refresh my browser, what you see is that the file is no longer here, but it has been immediately uploaded to SharePoint. So it's possible to configure 24Files in such a way that files uploaded to Salesforce storage get automatically transferred to SharePoint, and you have the option to also delete them on Salesforce after upload. Again, I'll show you later in the admin section on how to configure this particular feature. Now, if we head to the edit page option here, let me quickly show you how to configure the 24Files component. So here on the left hand side, you see that 24Files is a custom component which I can drag and drop onto the canvas. And when I click on the component, we see here a number of options that you can configure. So first of all, you can give your component a custom name. We have two modes of access: authenticated access, which I explained earlier. We also have anonymous access that is mostly used when you integrate 24Files on an Experience Cloud portal. Anonymous access allows you to use a shared service user, and hence also users that don't have a SharePoint account can still upload documents to your SharePoint. You also see a number of menu options that you can enable and disable. The most important thing to remember though is that 24Files inherits the authorization rules that you configure on SharePoint. So if a certain user is not allowed to navigate to a certain folder within the SharePoint environment, they won't be able to navigate to that folder via the 24Files interface either. So let's now have a look at the 24Files Manager app, which is the environment or the app in which 24Files is being set up by Salesforce admins. So the first step in configure 24Files is to set up what is called an Azure registration app. You will need some help from your SharePoint admin to do that. From that app, you will get a client ID and a client secret, which you need to configure here. And in that app, you need to configure a redirect URL, which you find here. Now, the integration between 24Files and your SharePoint environment is through OAuth, which means that we don't store any SharePoint credentials of your users within the 24Files environment, which is also the recommended and safe way to integrate. Once you set up this initial configuration, 24Files will automatically discover your SharePoint sites, and you can configure a default one. So if you're only using one SharePoint site, you can configure it here, as well as a document library, the shared service user, and an expiration link. Now, 24Files also allows you to have a more granular configuration, and that's what we're going to have a look at next. So I'll now head over to the Object and Metadata Configuration tab, and I'll stick to the Opportunity object as an example. I'll go here to Edit mode such that you can view what's happening. So again, here we're looking at the Opportunity objects, and actually we're saying for this Opportunity object, we want files and folders to be stored onto this particular SharePoint site and this particular document library. This means that with 24Files, if you want to, you can work with multiple SharePoint sites at the same time. So you could say, for opportunity objects, I want files to be stored on SharePoint site A, and for cases on SharePoint site B. You can even go more granular, and for example, based on the record type, choose a different SharePoint site or document library. There is also an option here which is called Dynamic SharePoint Sites that goes even one level further and allows you to define SharePoint sites on a per record level. If you're interested in that feature, there is a separate, more detailed YouTube video available that explains this Dynamic SharePoint Site feature by means of a concrete example. We see here further on the page that it's also here that we define whether files that are uploaded to Salesforce storage should be automatically transferred to SharePoint and whether they should be deleted after upload. It's also possible to ignore certain extensions, so in case you specify them here, they won't be uploaded to your SharePoint site. We also see here at the bottom a number of metadata. Actually, 24Files retrieves this metadata from the SharePoint web list you've defined. And to show you what this metadata actually means, let me go back and open up the opportunity here again. So we see here in the 24 files opportunity a number of metadata fields, name, type, modified by, created by, and created. So, and now if we head back to the manager app, let's go back to the metadata configuration. So what we see, these are exactly the metadata fields we see here, and if we want to, we can add additional ones. The fields to edit section I'll explain you in a minute, but let's first have a look at the folder structure. Now that we've set up our object configuration, the next thing we typically do is set up folder structure. So again, we're looking here at the opportunity object, and we say to 24 files, whenever we create a new opportunity record, we want you to create this particular folder structure in SharePoint. So we see here folders and subfolders. You can define up to 70 folders and subfolders in that folder structure. You also see that our record folder does not need to be our top level folder. So here we start from the document library. We have accounts, account name, opportunities, then our opportunity name, and a number of subfolders underneath. You also see that we can make use of what is called dynamic tags, which means that in this example, this name will be replaced by the actual name of the opportunity at the time when the opportunity folders get being created in SharePoint. So here as menu options, I obviously can create new subfolders. I can remove, but I can also edit. So just to show you how easy that is, for example, assume we don't want the account ID to be part of the name of the folder. We can select another field, for example, the close date. And if we would do that and save, then going forward, the close date would be part of the folder name that we create in SharePoint. The filter rules you see here on the left-hand side allows you to further customize the folder structure. And let me show you that by an example. So assume we have big and small deals, and we could say we're going to select the amounts. And if the amount is bigger than, let's say, 1 million, I'm going to use this particular folder structure, and I can then create a second folder structure for small deals. And at the time when we create a new record, 24 files will discover which folder structure to take and to create on your SharePoint. It's possible to add multiple filter rules and to combine them with AND or custom logic. So once you've set up all of this, you've had a basic functioning 24 file setup. What I'm going to show you next are some additional options to further customize your 24 files environments. So in order to do that, I'll head back to the object and metadata configuration tab, and I'll show you how to sync metadata between Salesforce and SharePoint. So at the beginning of the demo, we showed you how to sync files and folders. Now we're going to have a look at metadata. And there are actually two ways in which you can sync metadata between Salesforce and SharePoint. So the first one is that we define a Salesforce field that we want to sync on a SharePoint metadata field. So in our case, it's the account ID. So when we head back to SharePoint, you see here the two files we uploaded earlier in the demo. And you see here we defined an account ID metadata field, and actually 24 files synced the account ID between Salesforce and SharePoint. The second way in which you can define metadata is in the following way, and I'm going to use the contact object configuration as an example. So what you see here is at the bottom on the left-hand side, we added an additional metadata field called doc type, which is a metadata field, a custom metadata field I define in SharePoint, and it's a kind of pick list with a type of document like a CV or a driver license, etc. And I also added it here in fields to edit. And when you add it here in fields to edit, you get the following behavior. So let's look at contacts here. Let's take Frank Peters. First of all, you see here we have the doc type here. And now if we upload a file, we're going to select the file, let's say the driver license here. we get this box that allows us to define at upload of the documents the type of document. So this is a driver license, we upload it. We see here the driver license appearing here, and when we go to SharePoint, we actually see the driver license metadata field. So this feature allows you to have the metadata defined by the end user, and you don't need to rely on the name of the document to know what type of document it is. So that about syncing metadata. The last feature I'm going to explain to you is 360 view, and I'm going to do that by means of a concrete example. So assume we have 5 opportunities, all related to the same accounts, and we would like to see files and folders. So obviously you could go to the record page of each of these opportunities and see the files and folders. Now, 360 view allows you to do that in a different way and actually to access all the files and folders on the account level. So 360 view generates a virtual folder. That's a folder that won't exist on your SharePoint. And when I click on it, I can actually see all the opportunities that are related to this particular account, including the demo opportunity we created in this video. And you can see, I can immediately see the folder subfolders as well as the documents we uploaded earlier. So again, a nice productivity feature. The next thing I'm going to show you is how 24Files integrates with Experience Cloud. So I'm going to open up here a portal. And the use case we have here is I'm now an external user that has a portal to file cases with your company. What you see, there is a 24Files component here integrated in that portal, and it's configured in anonymous mode, which means I'm an external user. I don't have an account on your SharePoint. I don't see a logo here to navigate to SharePoint. The menu options are limited, but I can still upload files. So let's select a file here. Let's say contact information. So now the file is getting uploaded to your SharePoint. And when we head back here to service, we're going to have a look at cases. And now I'm your support agent. We go into the particular case and we indeed see the document that has been uploaded by the third party. So integrating 24Files in an Experience Cloud portal is a very nice way to allow third parties that don't have a SharePoint account to still upload documents to your SharePoint. So the very last thing we're going to show you in this demo is some thing on extension or on extending 24Files. So in this demo, I've kind of shown you standard functionality, but if you would like to, you can extend 24Files with flows and Apex. And on our documentation site, docs.24files.eu, you will find a number of examples. So, for example, how to migrate existing files from Salesforce to SharePoint, how to create folders and upload additional files, updates, SharePoint metadata, etc. And in each of these examples, we ship an example flow that is shipped with a package that you can clone and customize to your needs. There is also a full description of the Apex methods available here. So this ends the demo part. In case you would like to try out 24Files, you can head to the AppExchange page, click on the Get It Now button and get started. In case you would like to contact us, you can always reach out to sales@24files.eu.